to sail on. It's been about 5 months since our last video, and this one will be a little bit out of order. Since our last video, we've done lots of work on the boat. We've replaced the engine, installed new batteries, and we've upgraded charging systems. We will have some future episodes covering some of that work, but today we're going to jump ahead and tackle servicing our head sail winches.
Jay here. I'm working on the winches off the dream catcher, and I haven't been able to find much information online on these, so I was going to do a quick video here on these winches. These are Barlow 26s, Australia. These are older winches, and there's not a whole lot of information online about how to get them apart. So there you go. In the middle there's a set screw in there, and that set screw, if you start to try and twist it, it basically makes the drum turn. So you can't get it to turn on its own. And these were pretty stuck. So what I did, these were still on the boat, and I wrapped a rope about 4 wraps around, tied it off to 2 cleats so it was very tight. And then I put the Allen wrench in here, and then I used a little adjustable wrench to help get it turned. So I finally got it to turn. I should also say I sprayed a bunch of WD-40 in there over the course of a couple of days to try and loosen that up. But so this set screw comes out, if I can get it to come out one-handed. I'm going to have to figure out some other way of filming this. I think I have it now. So the set screw comes out, and it's got a little ring on it. It comes out with it. So that comes out. That's the first step. Once that's gone, this whole drum lifts off, like so, revealing the bearings. And then there's these 4 bolts. This is a different size Allen. So so these things just slide off, and then these bolts come off. And this is where I really had problems with these 2 winches, is these 3 plates come apart, and everything was so tightly put together and probably stuck for, I don't know how long these had not been opened up. So these, I had a really hard time getting them apart. So what I did was I was putting WD-40 here and here. I also did do some heat. You have to be a little bit careful because below here are some other bearings kind of like this with some plastic parts, so you don't want to melt those. Also there's a bearing up here, so I took that out. So as I was trying to get this thing to come apart, working on these, and I was using a screwdriver to kind of twist and get some movement here. So I was doing it in a couple different places, and then once I could get it down in here, I started just going around and loosening these up all the way around. Eventually, well, it comes off the base really easily. So that's the base. So eventually, I was able to get this thing to come apart. Of course, now it's not going to come apart again. Let's see if we can just do this real quick. I'll just go, so you can kind of see just a little bit of rotation on that screwdriver gets it to loosen up. So this comes off. Now we're down into the next level. These gears can come off, and that one came with the bearing, went with it. This one, the bearing stayed. These bearings, the little plastic, it's 2 pieces. On one of them, when I took it apart, those 2 pieces came apart, and all the little metal, I don't know what you call those, little round, I guess, bearings, they went everywhere. I was able to put it all back together, but you just be a little bit careful about that. And then finally this thing comes up, and there's some pawls down in there. They're not staying in here right now because I don't have those little springs in there. So then that comes up, that comes off, and there you have it. There's, oh, one other thing. This comes out, and it also has a set of pawls on it. So there you have it. So that is a Barlow 26 old school winch and how it comes apart. The two tricks were getting that first set screw, and that's why I did that rope trick with a sheet around this and tied off to cleats so I could get some leverage on it. And then getting these two pieces to come apart was also a trick. Just continuing to use heat a little bit and WD-40 and even some mineral spirits were used to try and break this thing apart. I did tap a little bit with a hammer as well, but I tried to be real gentle with it all. So there you go. So now these things, I've already kind of cleaned these up, so I'm going to start lubricating all this stuff and putting it back together. And there's the other one still soaking and getting cleaned up. So that's a quick look at these old winches. So maybe now, well, now there'll be something on the internet with these on there. So anyway, that's it for now. All right, sail on. One other thing, I took pictures as this stuff was coming apart. Pretty much everything's, doesn't matter which way it goes back in, except for these main gears here. You can see that the lip on the bottom is taller than the lip on the top. So that is definitely one thing that when you're taking these apart, you just want to make sure that I was just keeping these in the same orientation when they came off. Every time I put them down, I just put them back. But it's pretty obvious that the ring here is smaller than the ring there. So I think that was the only other thing I wanted to say about this whole project. So anyway, I'm excited that I was able to get these apart and cleaned up. So put that off my checklist.